Hello, welcome back to the Hoarder's Crafting Podcast. My name is Sasha and I'm coming to you today from a town just outside of Birmingham in the West Midlands here in the UK. And this is episode 45, I believe. I did check and then completely forgot. But today I have a regular podcast episode for you. I have 3 finished objects. 3. I don't know how that happened, but we have 3 finished objects. I've also got 1 whip that I'm going to talk about. I haven't worked on any of my 12 cast-ons since their videos as of yet, so I'm not going to show like the ones I've cast on since the last episode, because like they haven't changed and stuff, and I'll go over all the details once I start showing them in the podcast, which should be from next week. So we shall jump in with the first finished object, the first thing I finished. So this will probably come as a surprise to no one, especially if you watch the 12 cast-ons, but I have finished my Jones cardigan. So this was supposed to be a Christmas gift for my other half. Unfortunately, it wasn't finished in time for Christmas. In fact, I think I only finished it on the 21st? No, it must have been earlier than that. Somewhere between the 20th and the 22nd of January. So this is the finished cardigan. I shall hopefully add some pictures of my other half modelling this. So we shall go over some of the details for the final time. So this is the Jones cardigan by Tin Can Knits, and I made the 42-inch chest. It is an all-over cable and double moss stitch design. So there is the back. It has been blocked. It is all nicely relaxed. I think this looks amazing. I used Worth Mill Yarns Saddleworth in the colour Kingfisher, and it has a shawl collar, a cable detailing down the top of the sleeve, as well as a stockinette, like mock seam, I guess it could be called. It has 1x1 rib on all of the edges, and I used some very, very nice wooden buttons from Tom Dyson's Woodwork. All of this, all shops, yarns, anything else I mentioned will be found linked in the description box below this video. You just click more a couple of times and it should all come down. And I think this looks amazing. I absolutely love it. It was a bit of a labour of love by the end of it. The second sleeve seemed to take me a million years to knit. And not because it's like I was over it, I like that I just wanted it done. But every single time I sat down to work on the second sleeve, something would happen that would pull me away from it. And I'm not talking about, oh, I would just be like called away for a minute or two to finish something off, to do something. No, I would get a phone call from my mum, which would take up 2 hours. I would get a phone call from somebody else that something needed sorting. I would get a message from a partner saying, oh, we've run out of this. Is there any chance you could nip out and get it? And in the end, I got to like this part of the sleeve. So I had this much left to do. And I basically put my phone on silent in a different room, sat down and just cranked this out. because I was like, look, this should not have taken this long, but it's as if the universe was there going, you're not allowed to finish that. No, 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 you're not allowed to finish that, no. So I managed to get this finished. I will say I cranked it out and then it took me 2 days to actually bind off because I spent most of it in bed. I had quite a nasty flare-up of my health condition, which is not very pleasant, but yeah. But this is finished. It's done. I'm so happy. He is so happy with it. It was quite the challenge to get him to pick a different jumper this morning. Because of course I needed to show this off. And it's a bit difficult to show it off when he's sat in a meeting wearing it. So I highly recommend the pattern. It's relatively simple for a quite an effective design. It's basically the same cable across the entire body of it. It's a simple 3x3x3 braid. So you're always cabling on the same row and you're doing the exact same type of cable. It's quite a simple 8-row repeats. And it looks amazing. I will say the stitch definition in this yarn is absolutely lovely. Let's see if I can get... And of course, as he wears this a little bit more, it will relax even more and make the cables stand out even more. So that is finished object number 1. It used a grand total of 730 grams of yarn. So I do have the better part of 2.5 skeins of this yarn left. But I'm sure I can find something to do with it later on down the line. So, finished object number 1. Pop that down there nice and neatly. The next finished object I'm going to show it very briefly. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. It is this crocheted poncho specifically for sitting at a computer with. It was originally being made for my dad. I no longer talk to my dad, so I decided that I was going to give this to my sister. I have now finished it. I shall give this to her for her birthday in a couple of weeks' time. And yeah, that is 600 grams of yarn out of stash. And I'm mostly showing it for anybody who's been around for quite a while. They've sort of seen it. It's now finished. I'm not going to go into any more detail than that because, yeah, I don't want to bring up questions about it. Yeah. And now my third and final finished object is something else that was supposed to be finished in time for Christmas. So it is these socks. So these are the socks I'd hoped to have finished to wear on Christmas Day. I did not have them finished to wear on Christmas Day, but they are now finished. I finished these the other day, and they are the West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply. The stripy yarn is the sparkle base in the colourway Yuletide, and then the heel and toe is in the colour Nutmeg. These are just a simple stockinette vanilla sock, 64 stitches on a 2.5mm, 20 rounds of 2x2 rib, 80 rounds for the leg, a slip stitched reinforced heel flap and gussets, and then I actually did something a little bit different with the toe. For me, I normally just do a wedge doe wedged toe, just decreasing every other round until I get down to 12 stitches on each side. This time when I got down to 12 stitches, I did 2 rounds where I decreased both rounds, so I got down to 8 stitches on each side. I don't know if that's going to make a difference. I don't know if it's going to add anything. I thought I would give it a try. I haven't actually tried these on yet, so that I could show them off on here, all nice and neatly. I don't have sock blockers. I don't block socks. You know, I hand wash them when I wear them, but I just hang them on a rack to dry. I don't bother with sock blockers. It's, to be honest, it's not something that's going to get a lot of eye attention, is it? So, but there we go. I have finally finished my Christmas socks. These used about 70 grams of yarn, if I remember correctly. But in my video next week, I will go over my January stats with you all. I'm going to try and remember to do that each month, sort of the first video after the end of the month. So although this goes live on Friday the 30th, there's still technically a couple of days left at the time of recording. It is Wednesday, which means it's the 28th of... Is it the 28th this week? Is it the 28th? It must be the 28th, yeah, because my mate's birthday was at the week. It's the 28th of January, guys, at the time of recording. There is still hope that I will finish something else in January. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, next week's episode I shall go over my January stash stats, which is going to be quite high and look like quite a lot, but that's because I finished a couple of big projects this month and may finish another one. February and probably the rest of the year will not look so good. But another finished object, another pair of socks, and my first pair of socks in 2026. So that's 1 down and 11 pairs to go. So, yep, finished pair number 1 for the year, finished object number 3. Shall pop that there. And now I shall go on to my only whip that I'm going to talk about. I do also have a blanket currently on the go. It's just a garter stitch blanket that I cast on last year. It currently sits beside my bed. It's something I work on at night before I go to sleep, maybe first thing in the morning before I get out of bed. But I will show that once I finish the first cake of yarn. Just because otherwise, like, you're only going to see like that much progress each week. So I think it'd be more interesting and stuff to just show it as I finish a section. So yes. And now my next whip is going to be a nightmare to show because of how it's attached. Okay. And I don't have a ball band for any of this, do I? There's about to be an awkward cut because one of the ball bands is directly behind. Right. So, this is being knit holding 2 yarns together. The first is this Halo Lace by Lottie Knits in the colourway Foxglove. It is 65% baby alpaca and 35% silk. It's this beautiful... It's basically the same colour as the hoodie I'm currently wearing, but if I get this closer it starts blowing out, so it's sort of, yeah. There is a few darker patches and a few lighter patches, but it's basically this colour. And I'm holding it with this Mode at Rowan alpaca wool in the colourway Slate, which is just a sort of a nice silver grey colour. And I am making a slightly modified, currently very tangled, oh crikey, yes. I'm currently making a, it's a modified sweater number 2 spring edition by My Favourite Things Knitwear. I will add, this is not a very size inclusive pattern, but it's a pattern I already owned. I do believe her more modern patterns are more size inclusive. This one is not. And I have this much, which I don't think this was actually joined in the round when I showed you last time, which was 2 weeks ago. But I have got to the point where this is my last skein of the grey. So I've kind of stopped work on the body. I am doing I've done the neckband. I cast this off last night. And now I need to do the armholes, which for me, having raised the armholes in the modifications, still look ginormous. So I made the 4th size. There's only 5 sizes in this, I believe an extra small to an XL. And I think I'm making the large. This design also has a very deep armhole. So when you work it, you join the V down here at the same time as you join the underarms, which means it's very low, which I did not like in my original one. I still wear it, but I wanted this to be higher. I wanted it to sit more up here. I don't think raising this 2 inches has helped much. I think I'll still wear this, but I think next time I'm going to have to bring it up even higher. I'm currently doing the neck and the armhole edgings to see if I need another ball of this. I got this from my local yarn store. She still has the same dye lot in at the moment, so I'm not worried about that. But I don't want to buy another skein if I can get away with this. So I will finish the armholes probably over the next like 2-3 days, and then see how much of this I have left, how long this is, and whether it's long enough. Because I would like to be able to do 8 rows of ribbing on the bottom in just this as well. So yeah, but I think this is coming along quite well, aside from the armhole seeming way too big still. So yeah, this is just a little sweater vest. And as is usually the case with me, I will probably finish this just as the warm weather approaches, so it becomes too I've got ends I haven't woven in. As it gets too as it becomes too hot to wear a baby alpaca wool sweater vest. This is 50-50 merino and alpaca. So yeah, it's a very, I like the colour, I'm loving the colour, I love the fabric I'm getting. Let's get this nice and close. It's very, very fluffy, it feels very nice. If it wasn't for the fact it's bright pink, my partner would try and steal it. But yeah, this is the... I'm hoping, maybe, if I work really, really hard, I can have this finished by the end of January. But given it's the 28th of January at time of recording, that might be a bit too much to ask with how busy I'm going to be. Especially as I have my 12th cast on to do tomorrow. So we shall see how this goes. I'm going to put this back in its bag because otherwise I will lose something. Or something will go walkies, or my partner will be helpful and put something away for me and then forget where he's put it. In the bag. And they're ribbon needles. So that is the only really active whip I've got at the moment. Hopefully by next week there will be more stuff to show. I'll have worked on more whips and we'll have some progress on other things, so my whip parade will be a bit more exciting. But for finished objects and whips, that is everything. I do have one piece of acquisition, one skein of yarn. This is a yarn club that I will be doing this year. It is also the yarn I will be using for my 12th cast on, as this will be a year-long project. But I won't go into details about that in this episode. I'm just going to show off the beautiful yarn and the amazing stickers I got with it. So I am going to be getting the Super Effective Fibres It's Not a Phase yarn club this year, which is basically like emo, mostly emo, pop punk kind of themed yarn through bands that I quite like and listened to in my youth and still listen to this day. And the It's Not a Phase January for January colourway was on the band Blink 182, and this is the colour. This is the yarn. This is gorgeous. I really like pinks and I really like greens, and this is pink and green. It's amazing. Oh, I am so looking forward to starting this tomorrow. It is so beautiful. Nice look at the label. Super Effective Fibres. And I've got this on the BFL sock base, which is 75% superwash blue faced Leicester, 25% nylon. And there is 425 meters per 100 grams. So this is the, again, this is the January colourway. And I am even more excited for next month's colourway to arrive, which is based on Paramore. Which, yes, please, more. And I will say the thank you card is adorable, and the personalised message, and it came with two amazing stickers, two beautiful stickers. So the first one is this adorable little cat. So pretty, so cute. And the last one, which if I didn't know better, he picked specifically for me, is a dino. It's an adorable little dino. Oh, with his cute little pink belly. And then look, it's blushing. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's adorable. And I am going to be putting these stickers into my knitting journal on the page for this project with like a sample of each yarn so that I know each month, and they're so cute. And I'll be honest, the day this arrived, I needed this. I needed this the day this arrived. I will also say, and this is not the fault of like the dyer or anything, but Royal Mail messed me around delivering this. So I got a message saying it was going to be delivered on the Tuesday. It wasn't delivered on the Tuesday. Then I got a message saying it was going to be delivered on the Wednesday. It wasn't delivered on the Wednesday. And then on Thursday, at about 5 o'clock in the morning, I got a text message saying that this would be delivered between 8 and 10. It wasn't delivered between 8 and 10. Then I get another email with an update timing saying it's going to be delivered between 9 and 11. It wasn't delivered between 10 and 11. Then I got another email saying it was going to be delivered between 11 and 1. It was not delivered between 11 and 1. And then at 20 past 1, I finally got an email that said it was out for delivery. Excuse me for thinking that all of these emails you'd been sending was not the notification to say it was out for delivery. This eventually arrived at 5 to 3. 5 to 3. And he shoved it so hard through the letterbox instead of knocking on the door that he actually ripped open the package and spewed the stickers and the little notes, and there was a leaflet in there for a yarn show, just all across the floor. And I was not happy, but as soon as I saw this yarn, I was very, very happy. Like, it arrived on a bad day, and the colours just really, really cheered me up. I kind of knew what the colours were going to be because, of course, I had looked at the mood board. I had seen, like, the album cover that it was being based off. I love this. I'm so happy. And I'll be honest, I don't have an Instagram account currently, but having seen this yarn and other colours and just liking the gentleman's aesthetic and everything, I'm tempted to get an Instagram account just so that I can stalk this guy on Instagram so that I know when his next colours come out and things like that, because, yeah, I'm officially obsessed. So that is my one and only acquisition so far for this year. Obviously there will be more throughout the year. I'm not on a no-buy year or anything like that, but I am trying to be conscious of what I'm buying, as well as like actually finishing some projects. So that is everything for this week's episode of the Yarn Hoarder Crafting Podcast. Hopefully there'll be more stuff to talk about next week. Hopefully we'll have a lot of whips to show off and a lot of progress. It does kind of depend on what happens in life at the moment, but yeah. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. The algorithm does really like it when you interact with videos. But if you don't feel like it, that's perfectly fine. I'm the kind of person that doesn't really respond to, or doesn't really comment on videos myself. I kind of watch in secret. I'm just that silent watcher. Just so yeah. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode, and I hope you'll join me next time. Bye, guys.